Caitlin? Caitlin's up now. Okay. Caitlin had to bring the iPad.
Can everyone hear me? If I use
really
my teacher
loud.
voice, are we good?
Use your sassy teacher voice.
Do you have a PowerPoint
Can you hear me
presentation?
now? Okay. Hi, everyone. First off, I'd just like to thank my mom and dad for pulling this off from 3,000 miles away. The decorations are beautiful. It looks totally amazing. Dad, you can stop hiding Xanax and Mom's mashed potatoes, and I hope you guys get some sleep next week. Okay? So this day has been very, very long in coming, and not just because I've been playing dress up with Kristen, playing bride, pinning pillowcases to her head, and talking about marrying Deb and Sawa since we were about 5 years old. It's also not just long in coming because I've been getting frantic phone calls at 11:45 p.m. about napkin colors or strange things like leaf decorations or anything like that. The biggest reason this day has been so long in coming is actually because of frogs. Frogs. In the Iovani family, we have a saying that you've got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find a prince. Actually, we don't even bother saying the frog part, the prince part, because we just figured that wasn't going to happen a long time ago. You just have to kiss a lot of frogs in life. And we have had, Matt, Kristen, and I have kissed more frogs. And the froggiest frogs of any family in America. Our propensity for finding unsuitable people is awe-inspiring. If there is a semi-attractive, kind of put-together douchebag within 100 nautical miles, we will find it and date it and bring it home and convince ourselves that it really isn't that bad until the day that we are forced to admit that it is and run as far and as fast as we can before we commit justifiable homicide. That's sort of the way that dating has gone for our family. And that's sort of what the trek to this day has looked like. And as I look out to you guys, I can see that you don't believe me. In your heads, you're thinking, you don't know the winners I've dated. There's no way your frogs are worse than mine. Let me paint you a picture. When Matt was in high school, he once dated a girl with really long hair. He sat on the couch and sat on her hair and couldn't stand back up again. I once dated a man who, unbeknownst to me, ended up having a foot and toe fetish, which was a dark time in my life that I don't really want to revisit. Kristen dated a man with a blanket, which isn't so weird. Most people have blankets. They're effective body heat trapping devices. I guess you would call his more of a blankie that he traveled with and used to hold while watching TV at my parents' house in front of my father. Frogs. Frogs. We have found several frogs in our lives. And after a while, after dating so many frogs, you start to get discouraged. You believe that everybody is a frog, and there are only frogs, and you are going to trudge through the frog ponds of life, catching, kissing, and releasing, until one day you finally just pick one and stick it in the garage, tinker with some shit, and give it some hamburger helper and call it a day, and move on with your life. And you just figure that that's going to be what you do. And so, after one such a despondent frog moment, Kristen and I were walking through our parents' neighborhood in California. The sun was shining, the frogs were hiding, the birds were chirping, and we were just sort of cruising. It was actually supposed to be an exercise day. We were supposed to be running. Kristen doesn't run. I had tried to trick her and tell her it was, going to be a lot of fun. She wasn't having it. It ended up being more of a leisurely stroll in Under Armour. We looked very convincing. And as we were walking along, she got so low, she was so despondent. She turned to me and said, "Kate, what kind of guy do you think I'm going to marry? Like, when you see it in your head, who is he? And you know it's a low point when you're asking me. I'm not known to be the responsible one." Which means she has exhausted all other options, has Googled it, has watched Dr. Phil, and is still coming up with nothing when you come to me. But what I said to her was, "I thought you'd never ask." Because see, I've been in her social life and watching her grow and just generally wrecking her day for as long as I can remember. I've butted into her parties, I've been stealing her nail polish, and generally just weighing her down in life for years. And when you do that, you sort of get a really good sense of who a person is. And what their positive traits are and their negative traits are, and you get to know them a little bit. And after watching my parents' freakishly functional relationship for as long as I have, I kind of got a picture of what a relationship was supposed to look like. I'd never pulled it off, but I had a vision. Okay? A relationship, if you're in a real, live, put a ring on it relationship, this is the way it's supposed to work. You're supposed to find somebody who makes your positive traits look better than they are, and your flaws look like cute little quirks. And that's the whole trick. You're supposed to find someone who makes you look happy and normal and sane when you're not. That is the point of a relationship. And so after watching Kristen for a while, I kind of got to know her positive traits and less than positive traits, right? And they're pretty easy to list if you know Kristen. Positive traits. She's one of the most selfless people I've ever known in my life. She will not only give you the shirt off her back, but will then buy you 3 more that were on sale when she had a coupon for an additional And she'll throw it in the trunk of your car with 3 jugs of laundry detergent because they were a great bargain and send you on your way. She is also the glue that holds a lot of my family together. She learned this from the best, my grandmother, my Auntie Paula, my mother, the people who other people call to figure out where Thanksgiving is and what they're bringing. Kristen keeps the siblings in contact. Kristen keeps all the cousins in contact. Kristen is the one who wrote up the iCalendar list of when everyone's birthday and anniversaries were and then pushed them out to Matt and I because we have no idea, and then sends us reminders to check the iCalendar and make sure that we send cards a full week in advance so they get there. She also has a ruthlessly organized mind. She could teach dictators a thing or two, right? And it's not just the everyday things where her purse has a holder for her lotion, her Uniball, and her cell phone, and her closet has holders for every individual thing. She also has routines worked out for when you need to go to funerals and for distant family members, or for when a friend is having a really tough breakup. She remembers your favorite drink at a bar. She knows about that guy who you dated 3 years ago, whose mother used to call him like my little Tonka truck in public. She remembers those stories. She has them stored away somewhere that most of us can never access. And these are all her positive traits that work to balance her slightly less positive traits. Like the fact that you cannot go out with Kristen or go visit Kristen without being forced to go to Goodwill, Savers, or some other dusty shop full of other people's shit. And granted, she managed to find great deals. You know, most people can't find Ralph Lauren glasses for $1, but they didn't really just cost $1, they cost $1 and 4 hours of my life I'll never get back. Or her irritating habit of having her Christmas shopping done by late August, and then asking you weekly from August to November, what did you get for X person when you're at the beach in August? And then looking sad and confused that you don't know, and then slightly despondent that X person has such a deadbeat for a gift giver. There is also such a thing as being too organized. Like, that's possible. I recently was at Kristen's house and woke up out of a dead sleep when I heard a tremendous clattering in the kitchen. I actually ran out of bed ready to kill the intruder with a side lamp. No, Kristen had just picked 11:30 as a great time to reorganize her Tupperware cabinet. That happened. That's not cool. It's not okay. It's not okay. Okay? It stands to reason then, though, if my relationship theory sticks, if this theory actually works, and you actually need to find somebody who enhances your positive traits and weighs out your bad ones, that Kristen would actually need somebody who notices and appreciates her selflessness and doesn't just take it for granted. Someone who values family and therefore loves her ability to hold a family together. Someone maybe a little need of organization himself when he leaves car windows down in New York or loses plane tickets. Someone who thinks her constant couponing, holiday preparation, and OCD-ness is just the cutest thing ever. And will not freak out when she organizes the laundry room at midnight, or sends 5 reminders about dinner, or when he hears, honey, and has to go fish 6 40-pound bags of cat litter out of her car because they were stale at Walgreens, even though the Patriots are playing. In short, I actually think I somehow conjured Brian out of thin air. Because Brian is every single thing that Kristen needs, and half the things she didn't know she needed until she got them. Brian is stable and steady, thoughtful and careful, loving, and protective. Brian puts my sister's needs before his own, just as she does for everyone in her life, and so maybe for the first time, Kristen is being cared for in the same way that she has cared for everyone else for so long. Brian goes couponing with my sister and can even convince her that she doesn't actually need 14 bottles of shampoo, even if 6 are free. Brian tolerates being reminded about every event he didn't know he was going to until Kristen sent him 4 reminders about that 6th Josh Groban concert. And then he'll go to that concert, because listening to that man whine makes her happy. Brian is willing to work for weeks to coordinate a surprise party for Kristen, even when she changes all the carefully laid plans on the day of the party because she thought it would work better. Really? And then he is willing to race around the house, sprinkling flower petals and chasing the cat and rearranging furniture so that the party is the best day it could possibly be for his girl. Brian is the man who carries the bags, holds the doors, does the dishes, makes the tea, drives the car, sees the chick flicks, and hands out tissues for the sad parts. Brian takes out the trash without being asked to. Brian puts on a bow tie for dinner with weird outlaw relatives, learns their names and asks them questions. Brian handles illness, crises, and late-night emergencies with the same cool, level head he has normally after his initial 3-minute complete and utter meltdown. Brian is in it to win it, through thick and thin, easy and tough, normal and fucked up beyond all recognition. So, despite the frogs, big and small, far-flung and close to home, my sister has finally succeeded in kissing one and finding a prince. And I will drink to that. So raise your glasses, please, to Kristen and Brian. Congratulations.